I slept, and when I woke up, I'm swollen, and I still feel like a feeling behind my ear. You can see my hair isn't thinning a lot, but it's thinning more than on this side. This is the side where I sleep on this side, and this is the side that's up and exposed to this technology. So what they were saying when I woke up is that, let me put my glasses on so I can actually see better. Okay. So what they were saying when I woke up is that, oh, and this is the small window I always tell you folks about back here. So you can tell that the sound is different over there. And that's a really large window. And it's not as loud over here. This is a really small window. So anyway, what they were saying was they were worried about the previous thumbnail I had. Again, they worry so much. So I'm going to go in this video talk mainly about their psychology, because what I'm going to try to do is I gave a playlist for their delusions, a playlist for their psychology, a playlist for psychology of predators, and a playlist of what they want to teach me. So what they're trying to teach me is to worry, meaning not to really live, not to be who I am supposed to be, but to constantly worry. So what they wanted to do is they said that they are the keeper of memories, so that every mistake they claim I made. And as you can tell from the videos, I'm not making mistakes. It's them saying I made a mistake. And I think that's where it goes back to why this had to happen years later. It couldn't happen at the time, because at the time people remember what happened. But years later, when, they're lying about something that happened years ago. Well, talking about it, 30 years later, it's like, oh, that happened. No, it didn't. And then as I pull out receipts and receipts and receipts and receipts, they keep saying they're correcting the record. The other thing about that's important is that they said something happened. What was it? It would have been like in 1990, 91 or something. And again, so many years later, but they didn't talk about it at the time. And that's my point. If a mistake is made and you talk about it at the time, that's okay. But years later, it doesn't make sense. And that's part of their psychology. Their psychology is to create worry. And that is another illness. A person who is worried can fall into a category of a mental illness. This is all this is. It's one illness after another illness after another illness. They created illness in me anyway. And to create some sort of mental illness is exactly what they wanted. They said they wanted to create some sort of conservatorship or guardianship over me. But again, as I'm telling you, the people who they wanted to involve me with wouldn't be able to. So then you think, okay, so the people paying those people would be able to, because they would have a better standing, I guess. And that's part of what I'm saying. I'm concerned, what I'm truly worried about is them trying to worry me, is so that the people who are paying them can benefit. We don't benefit at our level. So we're on this level. They're at a level where they benefit anyway. And that's part of the issue of why I'm going to talk about their psychology. There's a certain type of person. I'm going to sit in this chair because I don't want my voice to start to go. And I don't have my back supported, but I just wanted to show you how I look. But I'm going to pause this, go to the other chair so that my voice doesn't go. So there's a psychology to these people that in dealing with them, I've experienced. First of all, they don't have any ability to feel. And I talked about that in a previous video. They are so numb that they can do this to people and not feel anything. They can lie on people, even when you tell them that, and again, I'm trying to make sure that I correct everything, all their lies publicly, so that they can't keep doing it. They still do it. What kind of person you say stop and they still do it? You say no and they still do it. You prove they're liars and they still do it. That's a very big psychological issue. So when they're trying to create mental illness, I believe they have mental illness. And I think their mental illness is so much of a problem for not just me, many people. I think it's a societal problem that their mental illness causes mental illness. Do you know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about mental illness, we have to look as a society, what is the cause of this mental illness? I think part of the cause of the mental illness is a predator. There are too many predators out there preying on everything about us. And even when you're trying to tell the world about their predatory behavior, the predators don't want you to do that. They don't want you to communicate there's a predator out there. And if we don't, and I think, when we're talking about why a predator can exist, it's because we aren't talking about it. The other big thing about this is that when they want me to worry, that's again a form of mental illness where you constantly worry about things, constantly worry. Then they want to correct me. Then they want me to have confrontations. So if you go over everything they want and what they're trying to teach me is to dwell on the past. Don't move forward in your life. You must remember what happened, such and such, even if it's wrong. I know what happened because I was there, just like with the thumbnail on the video where I show the diary page from June 1st, I think I wrote it down. If I didn't write it down, then June 1st, 1990. Again, those words I wrote at the time are proof that this is what happened. I'm not going to go into what happened that day because I would like to put it in an ebook, not exactly what happened, but similar. But it goes to show that if I hadn't had that proof and there were other people there. So again, these are predators. These predators came up with lies and didn't know that we communicated at the time. And that's partly why I think it's so important when they say, don't talk about things. Please talk about things. Talk about things that are happening to you. If you can't find someone to talk to, make notes on it. Find a way to document what's going on, because when a predator lies and a predator is confronted with the truth, then they run around again and find new lies. So it makes them work harder. So we're gonna work smarter and make them work harder. The other thing about their psychology is that they always find a way to make money off our problems. So when they create illness, whether it's physical, mental, emotional illness, because emotional illness is a big deal, you become numb after a while because your emotions are just constantly being stirred. So they want to create numbness so that when we see something, we don't say anything. We stand in shock. And I said this in a video when I talked about seeing the abusive mother on the bus many years ago. You're shocked because you don't know how to react. I'm hoping to help myself and hopefully help other people learn how to react in the moment, not to be shocked, not to be numb, but react in the moment. In the issue with the mother on the bus, I don't know